Many of us know the passage from Matthew's Gospel in chapter 25 that starts this way: "For I was hungry and you gave me something to eat." I don't know what it's like to be truly hungry. I don't know what it's like to not know where my next meal will come from, or if I'll be able to provide dinner for my family. I have the resources I need in order to provide plenty of food for myself and my family. Even when I was unemployed for 6 months a few years ago, I never wondered where my family's next meal would come from. I am privileged. My name is Joe McDonald, and I am the CEO of VEEP, Volunteers Enlisted to Assist People, a local nonprofit organization that fights against food insecurity and housing instability every day by providing access to healthy food, rental and utilities assistance, and case management services to people living on low and fixed incomes in South Hennepin County. Thank you on behalf of our staff, board, and most importantly, our program participants for your past and continued support of VEEP. 1 in 13 Minnesotans are victims of food insecurity and are hungry today. 1 in 9 children in our state are food insecure and battle hunger today. I've learned a lot in 3 years at VEEP about the reality of suburban poverty and the issues that lead people to face hunger and homelessness in Bloomington, Richfield, Edina, Minneapolis, and the surrounding communities. I have met hardworking people, single parents working 2 or more jobs, 2-parent households with 3 or more jobs, earning $11, $12, $13 per hour, at jobs with no health care insurance, little or no paid time off or sick leave, and struggling to put healthy food on the table for their families and to keep a roof over their heads because those wages are not livable wages. I've met seniors who are living alone and on fixed incomes who can't afford rent or a housing payment or food because of the rising cost of living. I've met people with disabilities who are not able to work and who have to get by on the limited income and support they receive. I see the cost of living far outpacing growth of wages and the pool of safe, dignified, and affordable housing units shrinking to a dangerously low level. I see people living paycheck to paycheck who come to VEEP when they have an unexpected car repair or medical bill, or a refrigerator breaks down and they have to buy a new one, leaving them without the money they normally put towards food or rent. But I also see great abundance alongside the great need in our neighborhoods. My awareness of the significant contrast between this great abundance and the great need has never been clearer to me since I've been at VEEP. And I cannot tell you how many times I've thought of a single verse from the Old Testament over the past 3 years. It is very familiar to many of us, and it was very familiar to me prior to joining VEEP staff in 2018. It's Micah 6, verse 8. "He has shown you, O mortal, what is good. And what does the Lord require of you? To act justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God." Justice, mercy, and humility. I'll start with mercy. Many Bible translations use the word kindness. For me, mercy knows that real people have real needs today, that children, teens, adults, and seniors will go without food and can lose their homes if people stand by and don't provide for those needs. Mercy looks like individuals and families volunteering at a local food shelf to help provide access to healthy food to anybody who needs it. Kindness is donating financially so that nonprofits can not only procure and supply food to people, but also cover program costs like staffing, vehicles for home deliveries, food storage equipment, and more. Kindness is shopping for extra food the next time you're at the grocery store, or growing vegetables in your home garden and donating those, or finding out what items are the most needed and then leading a drive at your school, faith community, workplace, or neighborhood and bringing those items to your local food shelf. That's what I think about when I think about mercy and kindness. Then there's justice. I believe that pursuing justice will lead us to see God's goodness and heart and desire for all of humanity to thrive. And it will also lead us to see the inequities, the gaps and injustices that exist in our world today that lead to poverty and to the suffering, oppression, and marginalization of so many people. For me, justice is about the issues that lead to hunger and homelessness. It is about educating yourself, learning from others who are different from you, opening your eyes and your heart for a deeper understanding of the issues that cause people to take the very vulnerable and courageous step of walking into a food shelf to ask for help, and then gathering your courage to speak out, to use your position of influence, whatever that looks like, to advocate and act out for a more just world. And finally, humility. For me, humility leads me to think of others as much as I think about myself. Humility tells me that I am not more important, and my perceived needs aren't more important than any other person I encounter in my day-to-day life. Humility leads me to focus outside of myself and to look to God and to the person of Jesus Christ for guidance on how to live with and how to love my fellow human beings. Humility tells me that when I act justly and offer kindness and mercy, it's not about me and it's not about a reward or recognition for my efforts. It's about joining Jesus in loving others, setting the oppressed free, proclaiming and sharing God's favor with everybody. As a community of faith centered on the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ, I encourage you to continue to follow Jesus into the places where together you can act justly for the benefit of all, where we can love and offer mercy and kindness to anybody who has a need as we walk humbly with our God.